Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. And today we're being joined by a very special guest, Bill Streetman. Bill, say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be here.
And yes, and he's going to be talking about his lifestyle. It is, Bill, you've done so many incredible things for yourself, for the community. A little bit about Bill. He has in his background, he started with a gastric bypass surgery back in October of 2010, and since has lost and maintained a weight loss of 240 pounds. And he's transitioned into just being a advocate for the bariatric community. He's a speaker, he's a bariatric athlete. He has come and done many different talks for the bariatric community, and today we're fortunate enough to have him here. He was named as 2017 Bariatric Male Athlete of the Year by the WLSFA community, and he was founder of Hope with a bike ride to defeat obesity. He's been on the board of directors at the WLSFA as well. And I want Bill to come in and say hello and tell us a little bit more about himself. Before we kind of get into Bill's talk, we have a very special thing here because I'm at the ProCare Health office in St. Louis, Missouri, which I never hardly get to be a part of. And I have a whole room full of ProCare people that are just going to kind of come on, just wave, say hello. I'll introduce you who they are. And you don't get to see the behind the scenes people. So, very first of all, guys might have to duck in. So, very first, this is Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Yes, Nick is our CEO. He's the owner and runner of ProCare Health. Come on in, Erin. And then next we have Erin.
And
Erin is she is, I don't know, she's everything. She's our office guru manager. We have Amanda. Say hello,
hey,
Amanda. Amanda Williams. She is
hi.
a sales rep for our community. We have Caitlin. You'll be talking to her on the phone if you call our ProCare office. Yes, love. We have Heather Mackey, who is a bariatric dietitian that joined the ProCare staff. Bill knows Heather. We have Madison. Madison is my daughter and also one of the sales reps here at ProCare. We have Jennifer, who is a sales rep, and she is here. You've talked to her probably on the phone as well. She does customer service. That's everybody that's wanted to say hi. Thanks, guys. And
Hey.
so that was yay. Thanks, Bill, for letting me. And then we have all these wonderful people that are joining us online and saying hello. Hello to each and every one of you. Thank you, everybody, for being here and joining us. Lots of supporters here from you and all over the country. People are telling us where they're from. Omaha, Nebraska. We have Alberta from Missouri. Oh gosh, just lots of people. So with this, Bill, I'm going to mute myself for just a hot second. I'm going to log on to our Facebook Live and I'm going to see who else joined us there and say hello there too as well. So
Well, hey. Oh, you're
a more
muted.
full introduction of yourself.
Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Bill Streetman. Um, I want to ask for some sympathy for my voice right off the bat because I had a tumor removed from my neck and it left me technically unable to speak. So 6 operations later, I have this voice back. So I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, I live in Westerville, Ohio, with my wife, Colleen. I have 3 sons. They're all grown out on their own, doing their thing in the world. I think 2 of them are on the call right now. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Terry. I think you're there. Or Tom. Yeah, back in 2009, I weighed 404 pounds, and my quality of life was really suffering. I have to admit that I was able to keep my activity level and my interest in sports and all that up to weighing about 325, 350 or so. But after that, it became impossible. I like to play soccer, couldn't do it. I like to say my bike went and flattened its own tires just so I wouldn't ride it. It became impossible to do what I loved. And that made the quality of my life drop. And so I started investigating how to change my life. And I think one of the secrets was that was my goal. I wanted to change my life and then find the mechanism to do it. Not so much did I focus on weight loss surgery or even weight loss at first. It was more, my life is not enjoyable. What do I need to do to make it enjoyable? So that was kind of what sprung me into that and a few other prompts about, my sister gave me information on weight loss surgery, and I had some friends and stuff, and it gave me the opportunity to investigate that option, which was never on my horizon or on my agenda before. Anyway, 14 years ago now, almost October 4th. So coming up on 14 years and 240 pounds lost and kept off. And while that does seem remarkable, and sometimes I think about it and it kind of blows me away, I would tell you that it's only the second biggest change in my life. The first big change coming from all the things I was now able to do once I lost the weight. Because my lifestyle went from one extreme to another. Weight loss was just one element of that process. Anyway, you get me on a soapbox, I'll talk forever. You said a brief introduction and I gave you the story of my life, but
Well, we're gonna be learning more about you too, and they're gonna see what you mean by that, because there's a lot more behind that second reason for living and for all the big changes and what's happened. I think you have a lot to say. And the interesting thing is Bill actually had a little documentary made on himself, and we have a YouTube video of that. The video, we're going to show a small little patchet of that. It's about 3 minutes. And so we'll actually also link here for anybody listening live or for the replay. You'll have access to the full video, which is probably about 10 minutes or so, but
yeah,
we'll play a little section of it so that everybody can kind of enjoy. So I'm going to be sharing my screen here, and we'll share the sound, and I'm going to pop on that here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make it larger and press play.
I refer to my journey as the escape from the prison of obesity. And I think it's very apropos because you felt trapped, I felt imprisoned by my obesity, and now that I'm free of it, like a bird free from the cage, I ain't going back. As a kid, it was always bicycle and baseball, outside and playing. As a young adult, teenager even, I taught dance and gymnastics. So I was very active. It was always movement in my life. I started to see a change when I got into my career, when someone else set my time or my agenda, and I didn't have the opportunity to just play as I wanted to. Oh, there was a lot of moments, ones that stick out, asking for a seatbelt extender on the airplane, and of course the flight attendant having to make the announcement, I need a seatbelt extender for this gentleman. Went to a play in New York City with friends. I had to stand in the wings because I couldn't fit in the chair. That was horrible. There were situations where reservations at restaurants, I would always want to be the one to make the reservation so that I could request a table and not a booth. The biggest embarrassment of my life was when I got late to a dinner engagement and the whole group was in a booth and I couldn't fit. So we had to pick up everybody's drinks and move them over to the table. The very moment that it registered most was when I saw a photograph taken the day before of myself with a little girl that was walking on the Santa Monica Pier. Colleen took the photograph, showed it to me in the morning, and this massively large human being bending over, touching fingers with this tiny little 2-year-old girl. And the juxtaposition of size just struck me that I was the reason that these bad things were happening, these unfortunate, uncomfortable things were happening. They weren't random events that struck me because I was obese, because I was fat. These were the results of that natural progression of lifestyle. Weren't happening to me, they were happening because of me. But the good news about that, I realized, was because it was because of me. The solution would also be because of me.
So I'm going to stop sharing that, kind of come back to Bill. So Bill, I know this has to be somewhat emotional for you too, because I mean, when you're sharing something so personal as your own journey in weight loss, and I know that meant a lot to you. So anything you'd like to say?
The difficulty is always trying to articulate that, like I said in the video, these unfortunate or embarrassing things weren't random events that were happening to me. They were because of me. But sometimes I get a little worried that somebody's going to hear me say that and think I'm applying it to everybody and blaming, saying it's not a matter of trying to fault blame or find fault or cast anything at anybody, but I just want everybody to understand you have the power to do anything you want to do. It's limited by your ability to believe it. All of this stuff, the reason it says simple, not easy, is because I moved more and I ate better. In about 4 words, I described my entire process. Very simple, but it was not easy. Unfortunately, a lot of us take the effort that it takes, and because it's difficult, and we don't want to face that. So we say, boy, this is complicated. This is difficult, not easy, not simple, rather. It's very complicated. And we like to make the excuses, well, I didn't know how many calories to eat, or I didn't know what exercise to do, or I didn't. No, you know exactly what to do. It's not, because it is that simple. What you need help is actually getting up and doing it, because it's not easy. But once that mental shift occurred in my mind, well, I've done a lot of things that aren't easy in my life. I graduated college, I have children, I had a career, I bought a house. I've done a lot of things that are difficult. But I managed to do them. So the fact that this weight loss is not easy, well, congratulations, you have something you get to work on. And once you realize that it really is a simple process, and you could have all kinds of comorbidities and other issues, but there's solutions for all of those out there. So again, if your heart and your soul is at where you want to make a change in your lifestyle, I got great news for you. You need nobody else but yourself to do it. As long as you exist, it can be done. And that's the kind of message that, I mean, there's 1,000 ways to lose weight, 1,000 ways to lose weight with weight loss surgery, 1,000 ways we gain the weight in the beginning. But all of them require one thing above all else: you, the person, to be bought in, invested in it, and understanding that you may have been the cause of your condition, or partly responsible for it, mostly responsible for whatever, but you can be 100% of the solution. The good news, the bad news, the good news. Yep, you've led a life that led to this result. The good news is you can lead a life that ends up at this other result. Simple as that. Not easy, but simple.
So
Then,
Bill, too, Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
well, then you can look at ways, okay, then how do we make this process easier? And in that, I find sometimes we get way caught up in things like food prep or even exercise and things where, I mean, food prep doesn't lose you a pound. It doesn't gain you any health or anything in and of itself. It's just a process. Why do we go through this process? Because it helps us manage what we eat. It helps us deal with portions and controls. It helps us keep from being lost in the moment when, hey, Bill, what do you want to eat? And you go, oh, bring me a steak or whatever, right? That helps you manage the moment. Well, in my case, when I first had weight loss surgery, I was traveling a lot, 200 days a year. I couldn't food prep. I couldn't meal prep, rather. But the goal of meal prep isn't meal prepping. It's that planning. It's that establishing something that's going to make it simpler than it even is, make it easy for you to do the things you need to do, which is eat a certain amount of food a certain way, a certain volume, and so on. Well, for me, that meant I'm flying out tonight and I'm going to be in Pittsburgh for dinner. All right, I call up a restaurant that I know I'm going to go to, and I met the person. I had people because I went there all the time. I said, hey, it's Bill, I'm coming in tonight. And they knew to make a certain meal for me. That was my meal prep. Because then when I got there, I didn't have to look at the menu and get, wow, I want the all you can eat special or the buffet. No, I didn't even get a menu. I walked in, I said, Bill, here's your table. We'll have your meal over there in a minute. I meal prepped in a way probably nobody else did because I wasn't home. But that's the kind of thing that takes something that people find, like if I was over there making meals, I wouldn't do it because I'd have to run to the airport. I get home, meals can't travel with you. You know, it just didn't work. But by looking at what's the goal of this effort and finding out what's another way I can achieve this goal, I got the benefit of meal prepping. Anyway, again, that's just one example of how you can take something that's simple but not easy, and then when life makes it even more complicated because you travel or whatever, you just find a way to make it simple again.
Susan says that approach to meal prep makes so much sense. And it does because everybody's lives are so different. You know, what works for one person might not work for another. I also want to say too, Bill, so um I want to start. I had not shared your stats. I want to share those, which is
Oh, I know.
where you started and kind of where you went and where you're even going now, you know, even 14 years after your bariatric surgery. So your surgery weight was 404 pounds. Your current weight is around 170. Your goal weight, 175 pounds, because you had wanted to gain some muscle. And I think you've already gained, it sounds like about six pounds
Yeah,
of
5, 6
muscle.
pounds of muscle.
Your procedure, gastric bypass, October 4th, 2010. Location, John's Hospital, now Ascension Health. And your surgeon was Dr. Sabar, I hope I'm saying that
Severe,
right, who has since
severe.
had weight loss, also had weight loss surgery and used your journey as part of kind of helping him guide his own journey. So,
Yeah.
um, tell us about how your journey, because I mean, 14 years out, for some people, they're wanting for inspiration because it is a long-term journey. Like, what would you say to that? Because has your journey changed at all during that period of time?
Yeah, I think that while we're right to look at the fact that it's a um, lifelong process, a lifelong journey, I think one of the secrets is we have to realize it's a life-wide journey too. Meaning, my life isn't just, I don't just work, or I don't just raise a family, or I don't just be a citizen. I'm all those things. So, and day after day isn't the same. Some days are holidays. Some days we have power outages. Some days I have an emergency I have to go to. life wide means that you have to be prepared to use your tool, to use the lifestyle that you've developed, regardless of what's happening at that moment. Yeah, you'll have to do it every day forever. But if every day was exactly the same, it might be easier. Every day isn't the same. You're going to go to weddings, you're going to go to funerals, you're going to have parties, things where you have to make decisions. So I think that mental shift of thinking of it as a life wide effort helps. And then it's easy to see where when you make a lifestyle transition, you do that by kind of fine tuning, I'll say, maybe adjusting your value system, your values, your situational values. Like for me, it's real important to me that I don't want people to see me eating poorly. So I have a situational value that is important to me that when somebody comes up to me, they go, "Oh, you must eat rather healthy. I can see by what you're eating." Not that I don't eat a snack or a junk every now and then, but if I'm at a restaurant and somebody walks by, I want them to walk by and go, "Hey, that guy eats well." That's just kind of a situational value. That helps me when I'm not prepared for a meal and I have to sit down and make a decision. I don't mind feeling that pressure of performing a certain way because living up to that value delivers a body that weighs 170 and not 404. So for me, that's kind of how I, every day, life wide, I apply those principles as I move down my life. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Oh, it certainly does. And
for me,
it's not just about when people are looking, it's about when you're looking, what you're seeing, what's on your plate, what you're doing.
absolutely, absolutely. And that, obviously, I have to make that value important to me personally. So, like you say, even if nobody's looking, I go, wait a minute, though, what am I doing here? But, we do live a lot of our life in front of other people. We're in public. And, we, that's, if you can find positive motivation from it, then great. There's almost, as long as you're not hurting anybody, anything that is getting you more motivated to be dedicated to the process, that's good.
You never know who else is watching and might be inspired by doing the same thing.
And they don't have to be weight loss surgery people. It doesn't even have to be weight loss. Um, had a conversation the other day with a young man who, well, it's a long story about how we got talking, but he was kind of talking about how he felt like he didn't get the respect he needed. And I asked him, how are you dressed? How do you speak? What what is your process? Do you make eye contact? All the things that nobody ever taught me that. Well, a lot of us were in that shape, what, even though you saw those pictures of me as a teenager or a 20-year-old being in pretty good shape, I didn't really do anything to stay in that shape. I was just naturally in good shape. So when I started gaining weight, I would use diet and exercise as a quick fix. A week of not eating and a week of running 20 miles a day, bam, it's all fixed. That's great when you're 20, but it doesn't set you up good for life. Just like with this kid, it's fine for hanging out with your buddies to behave a certain way, to look a certain way, to view yourself a certain way. But if you want to fit in a different place, view yourself in that place and then make yourself that, and it'll go a long way to get you there.
Absolutely. So, Bill, what would you say to someone who might be starting their journey? And or do you feel like you're the same person you was before you lost the weight, or do you feel different in any sort of way?
That's one of my three big questions I think that that we get asked. I know a lot of people are afraid that people think they've changed and now they're stuck up or they're too, whatever comes from being too self-confident, cocky, whatever. I think that that's not what, that may be what some people are asking about, but that's not important. The important part is, I believe, yes, you will be a different person when you lose and live a lifestyle of a lot less weight. You will be, because for two reasons. One, for three reasons, really. One, nobody will treat you the same way. You will be responding to different stimulus all the time. Nobody walks up to me when I'm sitting on an airplane now and goes, oh crap, I got to sit next to him. You know, a 400-pound guy. They don't do it. I don't have to deal with a lot of things. So yeah, I'm allowed to change and be different. I don't have to be as worried about being self-protected against somebody's opinion because I'm a big guy. Are my core values the same? Pretty much, but then it's been 14 years, so I believe things different than I did 14 years ago. I have my opinions, my thoughts, my values, my morals have developed a little bit. Sure, that's not related to weight loss. That's just 14 years. The weight loss comes from how I respond to the stimulus that comes to me and how I feel like I don't feel like I have to walk in a room and immediately try to hide the fact that I'm 400 pounds or make people not notice that by being outgoing or funny or interesting or smart or whatever. I can blend into a crowd. That's different. But I think that it's kind of a silly question because we all change all the time. Change is good. Take your change, take your bad self and go out and make that change and enjoy it. That's kind of the basis of why you did all this. I mean, yeah, health, wellness, but what's health if you can't use it? What's wellness if you don't express it? Get out and enjoy your life. So yeah, you will be a different person if you lose a significant amount of weight and keep it off. I believe that. I think you should.
Somebody asked too, they said, let's see, somebody asked, do you have any before and after pictures? And I do have one of your before and after pictures that you recently posted. Is it okay if I show that real quickly?
Sure.
While you can continue to talking about your 3 questions that you ask yourself. So here's a before and after.
I love this poster too, because this is kind of the heart of my message right here. What is the difference between these two guys? Nothing. They are the result of the lifestyle they live, 100%, both of them. And everything, because they're 100% the result of the lifestyle they live. For that reason, question number 2 that gets asked a lot, and a lot of weight loss surgery people don't like hearing it, is how'd you lose the weight? I think most of us are kind of shy about that one because we're afraid that if we say, well, I had weight loss surgery, people will say, oh, what's the dreaded word they say? Oh, you took the easy way out, right? Or worse yet, you cheated or something. So while nobody is under any obligation to speak about any of this, it's your business, it's your private business. Turn your back and walk away if you want. I think it's important that you have an answer to that question. Because first of all, I would say if you answer that question with, I had weight loss surgery, you've not told the right answer. Anybody online know people who have had weight loss surgery and didn't lose any weight or lost it and gained it all back? Weight loss surgery is not the reason you lose weight. Living a weight loss surgery lifestyle is the reason you lose weight. So if you answer, well, I had weight loss surgery, you're the one saying that that's why I lost weight. It's only natural that somebody'd say, oh, okay, I thought you did it on your own. I don't blame people for saying that. My answer would be, well, I lost weight the only way you do. I take in less calories and I burn up. I always had a problem with that in my life. Ate too much, couldn't stop. So I had gastric bypass, which gave me a tool that allows me to control what I eat a bit. So now I can exercise, eat well, sleep, hydrate, do the things you need to do, live a better lifestyle, and the weight has fallen off. And living that lifestyle allows me to continue to keep it off. That's how I lost the weight.
Bill,
Now,
there's a couple questions related to that too. Do you mind if I
no,
interject with
please.
those? So the first one is, how did you work with your tool to keep your skin not so loose? So keeping keeping your skin looking young like you do.
Well, except for this, I have a little bit of a turkey neck, but it's one reason that my goal was always to weigh around 175 or 180. But I actually went down. My lowest weight was 159. I lost weight because as I was losing, I saw skin and whatnot I didn't like. And I knew I'd have to build some muscle mass underneath. Well, I didn't want to hit 180 and then gain 20 pounds of muscle mass. So I went down to 160. And how do you go down to 160? Well, you just keep a calorie deficit going. And once I hit 160, I kind of upped my calories a bit so I could maintain that. I upped them a little bit more when I started lifting weights so I could fuel myself. And I gained 10 pounds of muscle mass probably right off the bat there. And then now I've been kind of fine tuning it. But without the muscle mass, I think my skin would be a lot saggier. And I'm not, jacked up or anything. It's just muscle mass. Muscle is a secret. It's the answer to all problems. I'll tell you. Muscle solves problems. My friend
Do
Brian
you
says,
feel do you feel like that has played in? Somebody's asking, do you have any comorbidities or mobility issues?
I had high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and borderline cholesterol. They're all perfect now. Um, I I had a hard time doing some exercise because of my size. Just basically, and anything that required wind, I had no, aerobic capability whatsoever. Um, but back to the how do you lose weight? Because I just think it's important that if you're afraid of that question, and maybe afraid's not the right word, but if you avoid that question from people or prefer not to be asked it, it might be because you're saying I had weight loss surgery, and if you readjust your mind, give yourself the credit, not the surgery. I lost weight because I used the tool that I didn't have before to do a task that I couldn't do without that tool. It's really simple. In my book, I have a story about painting your ceiling. Brenda, how tall are you?
5'6".
Yeah. Can you reach your ceiling with a roller? No. You use a ladder, right? You use a ladder to paint your ceiling. You cheat. You took the easy way out. I thought you did it yourself. No. If you were 7 foot, you would just do it. If I was born with the ability to stop eating when I felt full or got to a point, I wouldn't have needed weight loss surgery. I didn't have that capacity. I tried to develop it a dozen times over the years. Didn't happen. Couldn't do it. Went out and acquired it. Then I took that tool and I kicked obesity's butt. That's how I look at it. And when you do that, I love the question, how'd you lose weight, Bill? Come ask me. Ask me a lot. Because I'm going to tell you what I did, how I made it work, how I used the tool, how I got support and help from a community of people, all that, and internalized it and made it happen. And everybody else can do the same thing. That's why having an answer, you don't want to talk, fine, don't talk. Don't, I lose weight, but I don't want to talk about it. That's fine. But in your mind, no, it's not the surgery that lost the weight for you. It's your shifting of your lifestyle that's lost the weight for you. The surgery is the tool you use to do it. Believe it, know
So,
it, and you'll never worry about that question again.
yeah, so that kind of plays into this next question. What has been the hardest part of your maintenance and how have you cleared that hurdle? And there's another one that fits into the same. And what is your daily motivator to keep going? So, what has been the hardest part of your motivation, your maintenance? How have you cleared that hurdle and how do you keep going?
I think the hardest part of the entire journey has been that in the beginning, I it's kind of presented to you like you have surgery and then this is your life. There's a certain thing you're going to do, but everything has changed and evolved so many times. What I could eat, um, how much even. I mean, not that I'm trying to eat a lot, but I mean just to eat enough. And when you're on a bike ride or something, you got to eat a lot to give yourself the calories you need. Um, Exercise. I probably revamp my exercise program every 3 months because, well, first it gets boring. Second, I'm not necessarily trying to develop a big chest or bicep or something. I'm trying to get my entire body to work out hours a day to do it. So I think just keeping up with the changes that this lifestyle has imposed on me because it's all the time. Life wide means 24 hours a day. I know we think lifelong means, well, that's 24 hours every day. But when every moment of every day has something to do with this process, because it does, whether you're drinking something, eating something, moving, sitting, whatever. And what I need for that moment changes a lot. It's not a get it done and you're done. You know, you can't go have surgery and you're done. It's a daily investment in my lifestyle. But it's worth it. I mean, I did the same thing when I had to get through college in 2 years. I did, take 4 years of the college in 2 years. Required a lot of focus, a lot of life-wide focus, and then I did it. And it was a good thing. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's not easy. Actually, it's simple, but it's not easy. But focus on that and you'll be rewarded.
Do you struggle, do you think, with drinking water? And if so, how would you suggest somebody overcomes that? Do you have any solutions for yourself? What's worked for you? And how much water do you drink a day?
I have a special circumstance because of my throat. I can't swallow well. My right side of my throat is paralyzed. It doesn't swallow, so only the left side of my throat tries to swallow. I have to drink while I eat, which of course you could told right from the bat, no drinking while you're eating. So like anything, because if I can't drink while I eat, then I can't eat. Well, that doesn't last very long. So like anything, you learn to do what you have to do while trying to do the right thing for your lifestyle, your process, or the tool that you have. So I drink probably on the low end of how much water I should drink. I should drink more. Um, my throat issue makes it complicated. So because I'm always drinking something during the day, lemon juice or water, something, but I I sip it so slow I don't drink a lot of it. I recommend to other people though that you should drink more water. This period, it's one of the what 6 secrets to successful weight loss surgery. So yeah, you should drink a lot of water.
So, how has your weight loss affected your relationships and your marriage?
Oh well, for me, I think it made everything um 1,000 times better. My son, that's my son Tom. Um,
He's saying plugging my ears.
yeah, he's the one in Korea. He's watching at like 4 in the morning right now. So thanks, Tom. Um, I think that what weight loss surgery does is it just exaggerates, or rather, weight loss does, it amplifies whatever status your relationship had before. If it was rocky, it's going to be rocky now. If it was strong, it's going to be stronger because it amplifies so much of your life. When my old neighbor told a friend of his that I was half the man I used to be, I was pissed off. I am not half the man I used to be. I'm half the size I used to be. I'm twice the life I used to be. So hell, I'm 4 times the man I used to be. Don't tell me I'm less of anything. But I think that it's all in. It's so much here. It's got to get your mind right, and then the rest of the body will follow. In your relationships, it's the same thing. If I had a strong relationship with my wife, when I lost 200 pounds, it just got stronger. If we had a rocky relationship, I lose 200 pounds, it probably gets worse. As far as my friends go and acquaintances and family, it's all been 100% positive. First of all, I am so excited about what I've done that if you have any thought of casting any shade my way, good luck. It ain't happening. I think I wrote once uh, a runaway freight train of unrepentant excitement for what I've achieved. And stand in my way, I'll run you over. I'm just too happy. And I'll run you over on my bike because I got stuff to do. Anyway, I I I'm rambling now, but um I saw that question about the marriage, and I think that's true with everything. You know, if somebody gives you too much shade for losing weight or using weight loss surgery or whatever, I say they're just showing what they were. Um, you didn't see it before, that's all. And don't worry about it. Move on. Trust me, there's 7 billion people in the world. One person doesn't want you anymore. You got 6.9999 more to go find. And when you die, you're the only one being buried in your casket. So don't worry about it. Make it work for you.
There's some more too here. I agree. It's you have to live your own life for what you want to live it for. And it looks like there's a couple more. Did you have friends who were against weight loss surgery? How did you help them understand your decision?
I did not. I had people that expressed concern. Are you sure? Is it safe? Have you checked it out? This isn't a rash decision. Is it? Sorry, my voice. Um, but I think again that I just am too excited about. I've never had a single person ever say anything negative to me about what I've done, and I guess they just don't have a chance because I'm too excited about it. You know, I'm up here celebrating. I'm not coming down there to argue. So that's my advice to people is that I liken it to this. I've been in big cities, Seattle, Detroit, Chicago. You walk down the street, You find the guy screaming that the world is flat, right? The world's flat, whatever. I don't stop and argue with them. Why would you? I got lots of good things I'm doing here today in the city. I got to go. I might say a prayer for them if I think they're mentally challenged. I might smile and wish them well, but I'm not going to stand there and argue with them. I'm using my time, my energy, my potential to argue with the guy about the world not being flat. Sorry, I don't have time for that, or to argue with you that weight loss surgery is. I just don't care what you think. I'm too busy riding my bike, climbing a mountain, meeting people. My goal, when I said that I'm going to have weight loss surgery, my big audacious goal, it's a Glenn Garland term, my big hairy audacious goal was there's 7 billion people on Earth, there's 5 oceans, 7 continents. I want to meet every one of them, swim in every one of them, and walk on every one of them. That's a big, big goal. Probably can do 2 of them. The 7 billion people might be hard, but thinking in that terms, again, the best gift that weight loss surgery gave to me was the freedom to live my life unrestricted by other people's thoughts, opinions, or even input. I am fully capable of going out and doing what I do, and there's nothing inherently in my body or in my health or in my wellness that's going to stop me from doing that. The empowerment that that gives you, well, again, I cannot understand why anybody would want to argue when you have a big S on your chest. You're Superman, you're Superwoman, you can go do anything you want, and you're going to argue with some poor sap about taking the easy way out. I just don't get it. My weight loss surgery is too beautiful. The journey is too beautiful to be sullied, dirtied by stupid arguments. I'm just not going to do it. And I would advise people shift your mindset that way, because looking back isn't going to get you there. Look forward. We're made to go in one direction, forward. Go with all you can forward. With your new bad self, thinner than you were, healthier than you were, mentally capable than you were. And in no time, you'll be saying your prayer for those people and not sitting there arguing with them.
Well, and arguing doesn't always get you anywhere either, it doesn't really help anything. Bill, I know there was somebody who asked about your pictures, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually part of our very connected Facebook group. Is it okay if I
Yes,
jump
yes,
on and just kind of show some of the pictures that you've shared on our page?
sure.
So this one here is some pictures of you bicycling, riding. I'm just going to kind of page through some of those. If there's anything you'd like to say as we kind of,
That's that's the Mammoth March 20-mile hike. That's Bike with Bill at one of the WLSFA. That's my basement gym.
oops,
Yeah, in my gym, I have a basement. That was from one of my bike rides. I got in there. You see Dr. Pesta there,
right
down
here.
there with Colleen and me. I rode my bike from Ohio here up to Michigan. Stopped and saw Dr. Kars at University Hospital in Cleveland, Dr. Sabir at Ascension Health, and Dr. Pesta at McLaren Health.
And how many miles was that?
428.
Wow. How long did that take you?
That one was 5 days, I guess. 6 days. 6 days.
6 days?
That you see there was a ride in Florida. We did Savannah to Orlando. Those were 2 friends that went with me.
I'm going through some of them here. Lots of you've become very active. So it's fun. I think we're back here at the beginning. There was another one, a couple more that I thought might be fun to share here on this page, which was this was the Mammoth March in Ohio. Kind of show a couple pictures that you posted on there from that.
That was the toughest hike I ever did.
And can you tell us about this hike?
Yeah, 20 miles, and the terrain was all like that. But then it rained. The last 2/3, that's the rain, just like that.
Oh, that's a good picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Try going up and down hills with that kind of water. But we did it.
There's you at the finish line. And here we have, I think there's one more I was going to share from, this might be from that same walk.
That's probably that's where I ride my bike. That's right by my house. Yeah, I'm just out for a hike there probably.
And then this last one, actually, I do want to show this one because I think this is pretty neat. So your son, who's joining us today, is from Korea, and you posted some pictures while you were in Korea, and one of them here was you walked the sky bridge of, I hope I'm pronouncing it, Towers. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Lotte Tower. 121 stories up in the air. Yeah, that was one of those bucket list things. I was there, my son says that, you can walk over that. So I want to do that. I'm doing it. It was great. And if I weighed anymore or couldn't walk up 12 flights of stairs that were about that vertical, they wouldn't let you do it.
It's pretty high up.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Woo.
121 stories up there.
So Bill, here we are towards the end of our event here. I'm going to go back, stop sharing. And it looked like, I believe here in the chat, there was, I thought maybe another question, but Q&A.
If anybody has a question that they want to ask, after this, email me, text me, whatever. I am retired, and this is basically my job. I 100%, you want to talk, I'm ready to talk. You want to
I'm going to type your contact information, Bill, here in the chat on both Zoom and on Facebook. If anybody's listening to the replay, we'll have that information available in the description of the event. So in summary, Bill, can you give us any pointers of things? I mean, you're 14 years out. You've had great success with what you're doing. You're still staying very engaged in what we're going to call the weight loss surgery lifestyle. What would you say are what would be your biggest takeaways for helping people with this?
I have one of the things I wrote a long time ago, that advice to a new patient, is that everybody should understand that you're capable of far more than you can imagine. That you can do this. All you have to do is believe in yourself, eat well and exercise. Don't overcomplicate things. Focus on doing a little better today than you did yesterday. It's the journey, not the surgery, that will get you there. And I call my platform A New Life, because a better life, a new life, is waiting for you. And then once you jump into it, there's no going back. Your 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 life will never be the same for all the good reasons. I'm not shaming anybody for what they weigh or why they weigh it. A lot of things happen beyond our control. A lot of comorbidities that we don't have control over or can't. Fate, like my throat. My initials are BS. I was born talking. And what does fate do? It says, well, we're going to make it tougher for you to try to talk. All right, but it's still up to me to either quit or keep talking. And I'm continuing to talk. So fate delivered some bad things to you metabolically. That's I'm sorry, it's sad. We'll try to support you everywhere we can, medically and spiritually and emotionally. But the math is still there. It may take you more calories, less calories, maybe harder for you to do certain things, but it still can all come down to a formula and a plan, and you can do it. Truly, you're the only one who can. So start with that mindset, and like I say, realize never, 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 rule number one, never, 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 ever give up. Rule number two, there will be days when things don't go as you planned. I always say, I don't have bad days, I just have days that don't go as well as I wanted them to. But you will have setbacks and all that. So rule number three is always refer back to rule number one. Never, never, never give up. And you can do it. You can do it.
Thank you. That's so incredibly inspiring. So many people saying thank you. And Kelly says that she's 1 year into this and can only hope to be as successful as she's 14 years down the line. So
I'll tell you another thing that I know again, I ramble too much, so you probably have to just stop the thing if you want it over. But for people that you were asking earlier about, well, I lost my train of thought now. Darn it, that happens when you get to be 70. I'm 68, but I'm close. I'm sorry, I just forgot where I was going with that, but I'm serious though. Anybody want to send me a text, email, voicemail, talk, whatever, call me. I'm happy to talk about it, investigate ideas, because and my book really goes into this detail, but there's a lot behind why I wanted to lose weight. And I used a mission, vision, and values kind of a plan, but it would take me an hour just to talk about that. So I'm happy to talk to people individually about, like I don't know if I have them here, but I put vision boards up. They're on my page. People can see them. I went to magazines, cut out pictures, and put them on, and put those posters around my room, my house, my office. I went all old school on a lot of that stuff, but it's because I wanted it to be always on top of mind that I'm living. Here's the term I use. I kind of coined it for myself. I'm living by design and election. I design how I want to respond to stimulus that comes at me, and then I elect to follow that plan. My own fancy term, design election, is really just saying intentional living. And practicing that, I used my mission, vision, and value statements and things that help do that. So I almost don't like saying goodbye with just a rah, you can do it, because to me, motivation is the least important aspect. Dedication is the most important aspect. So you don't get dedicated to rah. I mean, I'm sorry, you get motivated by it, but you don't get dedicated to it. you get dedicated by internal values and things that you adopt and adapt and apply. So if I had 4 hours, I would have gone all the way through the developing your why, your mission statement, your vision, your values, your strategies for overcoming barriers to those values. All of those are the reasons I was successful. Doing it that same way won't work for you because you're not me. But building your own plan using that same format, I think will work for everybody. And that's the frustrating thing for me about trying to talk in 1 hour is because I have about 4 hours worth of stuff I want to say at least, or a whole book.
You know what though, just by sharing what you've shared though before, it will help people like know some of those things that really helped you. I mean, for the things that you mentioned for me have been trajectory with my own weight loss surgery goals and things like where you put your focus, where your perspective is every day. That is somebody asked about your mindset. And to me, that's about making your mindset move in a direction you want it to be. You're actually creating that for yourself as opposed to living just kind of by um just the things that happen and just reacting to the things that happen. You're actually putting things in intentionally what you want as opposed to just being reactive your whole life. So
If you go back to that big slide, that the two pictures of me, and then what's the difference between these two guys? That's what it's saying, is that nothing, because they both are the result of what they live. Want a different outcome, live a different life. It's really simple. It's not easy. That's why I put the plan together to try to make it easier for me. And funny, it resembles all the other successes. I mean, I was pretty successful in business. It's the same process I followed. When I went back to college and got my degree, it was the same process I followed. When I had a child and I thought, I'm not doing this really well. I need to improve my parenting, my fathering. Same process. All my failures took a different process. It's like, it's not, it's like, Bill, maybe you should do what works and not do what hasn't worked and try to figure out a way to apply it to your weight loss goal. And in that, I used some of the same tools I use in business or in my career or in my education. Role play and visualization, two important things. I think unless you can picture it, you can't make it happen. So role play, I practiced. I mean, I love the old adage that an amateur practices until they get it right, a professional until they can't get it wrong. That's why I practice. And it's the same thing with doing a speech as it is with living a weight loss surgery lifestyle. Just practice, visualize, role play, and then make it so. But it is effort. One quick thing because this blows my mind. I once met up with a woman that had lost about like me, 200 pounds. I met her at a conference. I met her online. We met up at a conference. I went to the conference, saw her, ran over there, couldn't wait to talk to her. Started telling her how great she was, how she was an inspiration for me, how much I loved what she did. And I could tell she was starting to get embarrassed because she was starting to look down and, oh, gee whiz, So I summed it up by saying, I think you're really special. And she looked down at the ground and said, but I don't feel special. And that killed me because I thought, wait a minute, you've done what I want to do. You lost 200 pounds. I've only lost 100 so far. I want what you have, and you don't feel special. And without thinking, I don't know where this came from, it popped out of my mouth. I said, heck, there's been 100 billion people born since the beginning of time. And if 1/10 of 1% of them ever weighed 400 pounds, and if 1/2 of 1% of them ever kept it off for 5 years, I mean, lost 200 pounds, and if 1/2 of them kept it off for 5 years, if you do the math, why more people have gone to space than have lost 200 pounds and kept it off for over 5 years. That's wild. And then I went and looked, we both looked at each other like, can that be true? Well, I don't know if the percentages are true, the math is true. It would mean that more people have swum the English Channel, more people have won the Nobel Peace Prize, more people have climbed Mount Everest than have ever weighed 400 pounds, lost 200 pounds, and kept it off for over 5 years. And I don't know anybody that's climbed Mount Everest, won the Nobel Peace Prize, or swum the English Channel. But I lost 200 pounds, kept it off for 5 years. You're damn right I'm special. You're damn right that girl's special, woman's special. You're damn right we're all special. And I don't care if you lost 100 instead of 200 or 40. You're special because you're on the way. You're moving forward the only way God gave us, forward in a special way. You got it. So I think that there's no reason for any of us to do anything but just think, to be proud of our darn selves and go out and make life happen fully. Whatever you want, go do it. And don't worry about anything going back there. That's why it's in the back. In fact, do yourself a favor, paint the number 2 on your shoulder so that everybody behind you knows what the best position they're ever going to come in is. They're not going to be me. So the best thing ever going to be is number 2. Wendy Campbell taught me that.
I like that. Thank you for the words of wisdom, the inspiration, the determination that you pass along to each of us who are on this journey along with you. And it's been such a pleasure, Bill, having you on our event. I'm going to show them how they can listen. We actually have on our ProCare Health page. I'm going to pop over there. It's procarenow.com. Again, procarenow.com. When you get there, there's a tab that says Berry Connected. When you click onto that Berry Connected tab, what's going to be on that page is all the events for each month. And so Bill's event will be listed on there. We're getting close to the end of the month. Usually we have those open until the end of the month. We'll have Bill's on there. It's taken it a second to pop up here. But you can click onto that. You can watch the on-demand replay. We'll also be placing his event on replay by the end of this month. And so you can listen to that starting Tuesday of next week on our YouTube channel and on our podcast. Our podcast is called Berry Connected. So if you go to any of your major podcast stations, you can click on the links on our website to take you there. But also on our YouTube channel, we have now over 350 videos and events. Bill's, again, his will be on there by next Tuesday. That's usually when we post, is the following Tuesday. So if you want to go in, watch. In the meantime, you can click on the same link to watch the on-demand replay. So we have that. And also want to just list here too, Bill is part of our Facebook Facebook group. So on this page, we have a link you can join our Facebook group and be a part of that, connect with Bill and a lot of our other community there as well. Also, just want to mention ProCare Health is our sponsor today, and they just came out with a brand new product, just been released this week, actually, DS80. I'm going to click onto our products. We actually have 2 new products. We also have a calcium on the go, which I'm going to talk about here just very briefly. So our new Sadie version is for DS80 version is much like our old product, only we just kind of updated a few things in the product. So if you've had a duodenal switch or a single anastomosis duodenal switch, you can maybe a product to check out. The core is much like our last product. And then we also have an added add-on. It's called DS80 Plus, which is basically just extra fat-soluble vitamins. Some people have extra needs, and so we created that as an add-on product. So whether you're just wanting extra 80K or if you're wanting to add it on to your DS80 product. I also just want to kind of go back real quickly here under products. And our calcium supplementation, just mentioned our very newest calcium supplement. It is a powder, and basically they come in single serving sticks. 500 milligrams of calcium citrate, 500 IUs of vitamin D3, easy to mix, and basically you just add it to liquid and no taste, a light sweetness. It has basically your calcium needs in it. So depending on what surgery you have, some people might take 1 calcium day, some might take up to 3 or 4, depending on which surgery you've had, or what your requirements are after your post-surgery. So I will copy that link and I'll post it within our chat. So do that and paste. It's procarenow.com. I'll do it on our Facebook page too as well. So I want to thank every single person that joined us here today, everybody that's on the call, that's been a part of this call, and just appreciate each and every one of you. Bill, thank you so much. I'll be following up with you soon by email just to tell you how much I appreciate you. And if anybody else has anything that they'd like to add or have questions for Bill, you're always welcome to reach out to him individually. Again, we included all of his information in that link. So
And watch the whole video.
yes, go in and watch his whole video. It's on YouTube. It's simple, not easy. I listed the YouTube link there for you. So it's about a 10-minute watch. Go in and watch the whole thing. You'll be inspired. Thank you, Bill, and we'll have you back when you finish your book and start publicizing it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a wonderful day.